Some of you know me, some of you don't, but I want to introduce myself. I'm Christine Foster. I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager with Envision Marketing Group. And as I'm sure many of you know, Dan Buendo, our president. So really, we've had just a lot of questions. And, you know, as we're going through this time, we want to be able to be a resource for you, for local businesses in the area. As we know, navigating your business through these times, it's tough, and really being able to, drive yourself and your brand and your company into the right direction. So we really hope that you get a lot of this webinar, but really we're focused on your website. So does your website drive leads, and how to make your website work for you in this new era? So here's just some of the things we're going to be covering. This is going to be kind of a rapid fire, all encompassed, a lot of info thrown at you. So one of the things what we're going to do is at the end, we're going to be able to open it up for questions and leave about a half hour after this presentation to answer all your questions. So Dan, if you want to just pop over to the next slide. So if you look down in the middle part, the bottom part of your screen, there's a Q&A section. You can actually click right on that and type in your question right there. And at the end, we'll be able to address it. And, again, we're here to address any questions that you may have. So either, at the end of this presentation or offline, we're more than happy to connect with you and be a help in any way we can. So we'll start off.
Just answering questions already here.
All right. So thinking about your website, this is a major thing that we, kind of the first thing, mobile friendly. Is your site mobile friendly to your customers? Have you looked at your site from your own phone or tablet? Really, it's so important to be mobile optimized and being able to connect with your customers the way that they're connecting with you. So everyone's using their phones, they're using their iPads. So one of the things to really consider, if your website is not mobile friendly, how do we get there? So, we're here to answer those questions after, but again, all of this information afterwards, if your website isn't mobile, is really going to be irrelevant, but really that question to yourself is, how do I get there? So, ways in which we can help you do that, more than happy to address it after, but just, things to consider.
Okay.
So really talking about the way that your website connects in your brand. Does your look and feel of your site match your brand? Really, you want to keep it personalized, be you. Does your website connect to your target audience? Are you providing a positive user experience? User experience focused on having a deep understanding of users. So think about the emotion of how, a user is going to connect with your brand, what they need, what they value, their abilities, their limitations. So these are all things to consider, as someone's going to your website and navigating through it. Being able to connect, but really speak to who you are. So Dan's going to give us some examples of just, local businesses, clients that we've worked with, and really tying in that brand to their website and who they are.
Okay, thank you. So, again, the theme of our session today is really having your website does your website tell your story for you? In many of your cases, your physical store may be closed right now, and so your website is your virtual storefront. And so is it telling the story for you? And one of the ways it tells the story is visually. And so, just wanted to get into branding here a little bit. And does the look and feel of your site match and speak to your client base? So obviously with a hot tub and spa, facility, it should be soothing and relaxing, and that's the look and feel that this website conveys. Another client is a IT company. It's got a techie business feel, and again, it just seems obvious that your website should have that look and feel. But so many times with clients we're working with, it doesn't, and it doesn't reflect, they may have a beautiful store, or they do beautiful work, and the look and feel of their site doesn't necessarily reflect that. So again, just looking at some samples here, whether you're a high-end pool company, or are you, in this case, these guys they sell shot glasses. So their audience is, you know, a younger audience, and the vibe of their site reflects that. The pictures there are, you know, speaks to their audience. And so does your website speak to your audience from a visual standpoint? The next point is from a homepage design, and the first impression, and maybe the only impression that a client may see, is the homepage. And so here's a client we're working on now. This is their current site. It's not mobile friendly. It's obviously, you know, this one's, I think, about 8 or 10 years old, and it looks that way. So they do beautiful work, but you may not get that impression from their homepage, and you may turn away right at that point. And so this is the one we're working on now for them. And yeah, just ask the question, which one would you rather do business with? It's actually the same company, but it looks like 2 totally different companies. So the design of your site, you know, should reflect that, and should, you know, is really your first impression to a client in many cases. Going right along. So the next part, again, speaking about the home page, but is the content of that page. So, you know, our goal is to, what I call, keep it above the fold, make everything very easy to find without having to scroll. So no matter what I'm looking for, you know, it's all right here. I don't have to scroll anywhere. But if they do start scrolling, let's tell your story. And does your content tell your story? And do you, you know, in this case, we've kind of highlighted some main services that they offer that, you know, are highlighted or featured on their homepage. And so there's 2 things to this. One is, you know, if that's a service I'm looking for, it's easy to find, it's visual, it pops out. But the second part is search optimization. So this is also good for search engines. These keywords, this content being on the homepage strengthens their ranking. And so when you just look at, you know, an old site that doesn't give you more sections versus something new where, okay, if they keep scrolling, let's keep telling our story. So another client that, well, here's just another example on the more technical side, where highlighting their services just in a different format. So instead of in those kind of horizontal sections, it's in a more visual gallery sort of setup. And again, it's highlighting each one of their key services right on the home page. Again, I just want to remind people, if you have any questions, throw them in that Q&A area, and we will definitely address them at the end. So one more slide here. This is another client we're working on. It's a chain of convenience stores and gas stations in the Boston area. This is their current site and their current logo. They wanted to go through a rebranding process and a new website. And so this is the new one that we're building. In speaking with them, we identified, or they made it clear that, you know, hiring, the main purpose of their website is really hiring. They have a lot of turnover, they're always hiring, and they wanted to bring that front and center. So we made it the first slide up. This is your billboard here. This is your, you know, your area to emphasize what you have going on marketing wise. And so are you taking advantage of that with your website? This is the new logo that we designed. And, you know, again, I kind of pose that question, would you rather work for this company or work for this company? And next point here, actually on that old site, buried in there somewhere, they have this video, which turns out it's a very professional video. They do a lot of community work, and it looks like a good place to work. And so we made that video, brought it front and center right into the homepage. And so our next segment here, Christine will talk about video and using that in your marketing.
So, I think, video is just, it's such a huge component right now in marketing, especially, where everyone's on social media, everyone's, online. It's the way that people are connecting, and it's really a way for you to tell your story visually, and bring your story to life. So, we work with tons of companies on ways in which they can incorporate video into their marketing. And here's just a few ideas, just ways in which you can use video to really tell your story or market your brand and business. Corporate overviews, a way to do a Q&A. You have kind of that frequently, asked questions. It's a way to address that. It's a way to go even further in and really connect with your team. Who are your teammates? Meet the team. We've had some companies, that they want to use it for HR training, and it's just a way for them to, keep the transition of, new employees moving along and being able to, keep it efficient. Vlogs, behind the scenes, really, what's behind the scenes of your business. Recruiting, Dan used a perfect example with Verk. Featured products, so a way to really show your products, making it loud and proud, what you sell, what are the services you offer. A huge one, being able to do case studies or testimonials. So, having a testimonial on your site in written form, think about it, that 95% of what viewers actually retain when they watch a video, next to 10% when they read it in text. So maybe being able to highlight a few of your, just customers saying, how great you've been or what great customer service you've had, and then being able to use, for special announcements and special events. So we're going to walk through a few examples of clients that, we've done video work for, locally. So Dan, if you want to jump to the next slide. So here's our first example. I love this one. Everyone loves animals. Percentage of people that might not, but everyone can love a cute puppy or cat. So this is a Wilbraham Animal Hospital. We'll just show you an example. We did kind of a little overview of their office, who their staff was, and really the services they offer.
Andrew Hertzman. I'm a veterinarian here. I'm one of 6 and part owner of the Wilbraham Animal Hospital. I think I have the best job I could ever imagine. Every day I'm excited to go to work.
We, I think, do everything on the gambit from a simple nail trim or ear cleaning for animals to an ultrasound-guided cystocentesis, radiology. We do all different surgeries, procedures here.
I think it's for our staff, and really what sets us apart from other places.
Everybody wants to feel cared about, and as soon as you get that, you can buy a service anywhere. But I think what keeps people coming back to us is that connection that we try to build.
It's what our clients love. They love to see the same faces, the technicians who really care, and the doctors who are very much the same way.
I think we treat people just as gently as we do the animals.
Our personnel here is some of the best human beings there are on this earth, and they care so much, and they're definitely going to give you and your animal the best every day, no matter what day. Snowstorm, hail, sleet, we're like the post office.
We've always been extremely progressive, meaning keep.
So, just as a point with this client, the head doctor there was actually pretty nervous about getting on screen. And as you can see, the staff is just so enthusiastic and happy to be a part of, just something like being able to be in a video. So, even just looking at your staff, they can speak volumes for your brand and business. We'll go through another example, as I mentioned, the testimonials, which is huge. This is an example of a testimonial from one of our clients for one of our clients, Pioneer Cold Storage.
I'm Michael Carando, President and CEO of Carando Gourmet Frozen Foods.
My name is Kathleen Carando. I work for Carando Gourmet Frozen Foods. We are a third-generation family-run and owned business in Massachusetts. We are the proud manufacturer of some quiches, hot pies, and some gourmet entrees.
We've been working with Pioneer Cold Storage for over 25 years now to support our manufacturing with raw materials as well as finished goods storage. Their service level is very high. Our satisfaction rate with our customers is high as well because of their ability to stage the product and have it ready for shipment to our customers. Our production is mainly focused on savory, frozen baked goods, so pot pies and quiche. And we sell those or distribute those nationally. And
again, it's just an example of really highlighting the quality of business, the quality of services. So, just a way in which you can use video to really highlight your business. We're going to jump into some other examples of being able to connect with your, brand or business. Dan's going to give us an example of, virtual tours and, drone capabilities with video.
Okay. One thing before we switch over there, I just want to mention, obviously, video is great to embed on your website to help tell your story, but it's also great for social media. So with that Wilbraham Animal Hospital, I don't know if you can see here, they're a pretty small outfit. That video had over 3,500 views. So it got really, really good engagement. All right, so some other ways to use video. One is virtual tours. So again, if you do have a showroom or a facility that you're proud of and that you want people to be able to see, and right now you physically can't, well, if you have a virtual tour on your website, now they can. So this is an example of literally a 360 tour of your facility embedded right on your website. If you have different areas or different rooms, they can get right in there and search around. So this is a really nice tool. So that's for an inside showroom, etc. Another tool is using drone footage. So this is an example of a client that, if you're outside and you do work outside, we had some drone footage shot. This is obviously a big outfit. He's got a lot of trucks. They're always very proud of all the trucks they own, so they want to show all the trucks they own. But it just visually gives you the depth that, okay, this is a real outfit. These guys aren't messing around. And it's embedded right into the background of the website, so there's no audio or anything with this one. It's just add some movement to the site. And then while that was being shot, we took a still shot from up there as well. And, that's just in, regular photo. But again, it shows depth that, a regular photograph's not going to give you. So then another example, again, of just kind of embedding video into the background of your site. Beer company that we work with. So with this one, again, it's just built right into the background. It adds movement, it just gives your site a little different dimension to it. And who doesn't like to see beer? Sorry. Okay. All right, so not everyone may be able to afford video, so we want to just talk about using photography to enhance your website.
So going into photography, we've all heard the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Time and again, we have clients that come to us with their current site and it's filled with stock photos. So really, one of the things that we really recommend is making yourself shine, be loud and proud. Clients want to see you, they want to see your products. They want to research you before making a purchase, regardless of who your client base is. High quality professional photos contribute to your overall branding success. The thing about photography too is having optimized photos on your site helps your search engine optimization. So really, being able to invest in, what your products are, who your staff is, all ways in which you can use photography on your site to make yourself stand out.
So these are some examples of, food photography is always fun. It's a good one. It literally, again, can tell the story of, is that a place I want to go eat? And so with this project, everything was staged. So it's not just, just take it out of the oven and take a shot of it. It's like, set it up, make it look appetizing. And, it really creates the vibe for your, you know, facility. The same is true for, you know, again, going back to that shot glass company that we were talking about earlier. You know, all of these photos are staged and just, you know, you put a little extra effort into it. These guys are in the military that own this, and they're, you know, so they're proud of that. And, you know, so we're working flags into the background, and it again, it just creates an attitude and a feel. So again, we know that not everybody can afford to necessarily have a professional photographer come out, but there's so much you can do. We all have, you know, phones that have great cameras right on them. So Christine is just going to talk about that.
Yeah, so this is one of our local clients. Some of you may know them. They're two amazing owners. They're super proud of just their store. They do all gourmet food there. So really, when we met with them at firsthand, the website they had, which is on the left, just kind of a snapshot, it really did not speak to really what they provided as a service, what kind of products they had in store. So, you know, they didn't really have a big budget, and really we kind of took what we could do and kind of look at what they currently had. Again, it didn't really speak to what was inside and what was, you know, what their store and business was about. So what we did was we went in there with our camera phones, iPhones, and Dan and I took some photos, listened to really, you know, what their top products were, what they really were proud of. One of the things that they do every day is they actually bake fresh bread in store. And they have a little section where you can actually go sample it. So that was a huge, you know, pride for them. So we really wanted to make that stand out. From desserts to their hot bar, you know, just taking that image and making it pop. And as someone goes to the site, it makes them want to go in there and, you know, try these products, try the store, and support their local business. So, you know, again, it's that everyday photos, you know, using, you know, maybe you can't afford that photographer, but, you know, really capturing, you know, what your products are and who you are. So, you know, that's kind of how we transition their brand, and we're still working with them. And here's another example. This is a, you know, healthy food delivery service. And, you know, again, you're not going to get, you know, your Posto or fancy white tablecloth type meal, but it's a way and a means to make the food look appetizing. So again, just taking those images and bringing them to life and making them appetizing. So, you know, again, just an example of, you know, a client we've worked with to make the images pop. And as a user goes to their site, they're going to say, hey, you know what? I actually would love to get delivery from this place. I want to order from them. So we're going to jump into a little bit of e-commerce. You know, there's different ways in which you can think of e-commerce, but, you know, we've had a lot of businesses that have had a transition or have had questions in regards to what e-commerce is or what are the capabilities that they can offer to their website. So just as an example, Atkin Farms, you know, they've had to transition their business model, obviously with the times right now. So being able to offer, you know, that local delivery, local pickup, for their customers. On another note, you know, you wouldn't even think of it, but they actually have a huge online store on the back end. So they ship all over the country. They do cider donuts, pies, gift baskets. So, you know, there's many ways in which you can incorporate e-commerce. You know, it's just a way of thinking. It's just certain ways in which you can think, you know, physically not being in your store, it's a way for you to offset costs. Makes it convenient for the user that they can actually go on your website and shop 365, you know, 24/7 in their own convenience. So just, you know, a couple of points, you know, especially the way that, you know, the era is going, just to be able to offer that to your users that go to your website.
So the next component, you know, you may be saying, well, I don't have a store. I'm not, you know, we provide a service, you know, and so what we want to talk about here is bringing an online ordering mentality to a more traditional, you know, service sort of business. So with these guys, you actually can, you know, do a complete online transaction and pay for your service and do the whole 9 yards. But what I wanted to point out here is that not all of their stuff is like a checkout process. So if you have more of a service type business, you can see with this one, they're describing what the service is. They're talking, you know, giving you the price and how long. but it's now request, instead of a buy now, it's a request appointment. And so can you bring that, again, that sort of online e-commerce mentality to your service business? If you're a landscaper or a, you know, home improvement style company, do you have, you know, different packages, a good, better, best sort of offering that you can describe everything? Maybe you have the price, maybe you don't, but you're, you know, people are looking to research and, you know, let your website work for you while you're, you know, not even open. And so we just see so many times where clients aren't taking that opportunity to put more content to their site and let clients be able to make buying decisions, even if they're not actually completing the sale there. On a small note, you know, gift cards, so many businesses offer gift cards. Maybe you're not ready to get into all kinds of e-commerce stuff, but you do sell gift cards. This is a really easy, low-tech way. This was set up through PayPal, you know, set up a few different denominations. This is just a little pizza shop in town. And, but you can buy it online, and then they pop it in the mail and you get your gift card a couple days later. You know, you get a lot of people that live outside the area, but they want to get a gift card for, you know, their family that's still here. So you can take a low-tech approach to being able to do things online. Again, taking that buy now sort of approach with a service business. So we'll start with this is a landscape lighting company. Again, people want to do research. You know, this landscape lighting costs thousands of dollars. This stuff's a lot more expensive than I thought, but it looks great. I get to see my neighbor's house across the street every night, how beautiful his house looks. So, but you know, you want to be able to do research. And so photos are a great way, you know, whether you're, again, in the kitchen business or in the landscaping business, or even if it's just products that you have. And so these photos are not only a good opportunity for people to be able to quote shop and research, but it's also a good opportunity for optimization. So like with these guys here, this site has well over 1,000 pictures on this website. You know, if you're going to go spend $50,000 on a pool, you want to research it as much as possible. But my point I wanted to just mention here was on the optimization side. So each one of these photos has the town name along with a description with them. And so every time you put a photo, when you, again, we see so many clients who put photos up there with no text at all, no descriptions, and you're just missing a good optimization point to be able to say, you know, describe what this is and help the optimization of your website. Christine?
Yeah. So, you know, again, it's bringing that call to action. So any offering you have, you know, you really want to be able to, you know, capture that user or capture that potential client and give them a reason to act now. So this is an example of one of our clients, New England Lawn Care. He uses this offer, you know, it connects to one landing page. He does it through Google ads. He does it through social media ads on Facebook. So again, it's just being able to capture that information. And one of the things to consider too is, you know, it's trackable. So you're able to, you know, pull that information in, but again, it's having a clear, concise offer that the user or potential, you know, customer can understand. So this is, you know, as you're thinking about a website, again, making it easy, but a way for them to inquire. So, you know, request a quote, contact us, join your email list, schedule a meeting, buy a product, all of those. You want to make it clear. So we're going to just kind of walk you through a couple of examples of clients that we work with that, you know, use this as an opportunity to capture information. So this is a financial group, PV Financial Group. Sidebar, we have, you know, contact us. If someone's inquiring about their services, you know, or products, you know, they're able to just go in there, you know, generalize and, you know, pull that information. It's very easy to embed in your website. And, you know, it's just a way for you to capture that information. Another example is, this is kind of going on, with doctors' offices and, veterinarian, anyone kind of in that healthcare field. But we have a client, Northampton Eye Care, that's offering a telemedicine. So being able to actually schedule an appointment right online, or a call for, a telephone meeting. So, just a way in which you can still stay connected to your current customers, potential customers, and, you may be closed, but again, it's really navigating just, what the times are and being able to still be there for your clients. So, I think some people, they are technology's their friend, or they kind of scare away from it. But, we found just, with clients and ourselves that there's tools and technology right now and in the future that you can use just to make it easier and embed in your website to stay connected. So, live chat, text marketing, everyone's on Zoom right now, appointment setting on a calendar through your website, email marketing. So all ways in which you can still stay connected, in that virtual way. And now we're going to kind of walk through just some of these in more detail.
Okay, so this first one is just, again, with a lot of restaurant clients, but the same with health clients as well. And, so much has been changing. Are we open? Are we not open? Are we doing curbside pickup? Are we doing delivery? So this top red bar up here, most websites, we design WordPress websites. So I know it's an easy tool to install for WordPress, but most of them have similar tools where you can put a message right up top when they're on their mobile. If you view this from mobile, it's also right up top. And so it's just a way to easily communicate what's going on during these times. Hopefully when this all passes, you can put more positive things like, gift card sales or whatever. It's a good little spot to put a quick little message, but it's a nice little tool. Getting into some more other tools, so live chat. This is another one that there's free options of this available. You see these on a ton of websites now, this thing down in the lower corner where you can start a chat with somebody. If you, the business owner, the way it works is, if you do need to be at your computer. I think they do have mobile things too, but if you're not there, you can just say we're out of the office and it'll let them leave an email message for you. But if you're in your office and you're at your computer, they can start a chat and you get a pop-up and you can communicate with them, instantly. And again, there's free versions of that. If you want to test it out, it's not too difficult to install on your site. So it's something you could test out without a big financial investment. Back to our animal hospital friends here. They have a service that they use, which is a call to text. So this service takes your traditional landline and turns it in so that people can actually text to you. And again, you get a dashboard where you would communicate with people that way. But I know that this has been real successful for them. Everybody's on their cell phones nowadays. Everybody texts. And so this is a way to communicate to people using that tool. And this is a little snapshot of how, it works too, because they definitely have a phone version of that, but you don't have to have it doesn't have to be linked to your cell phone. You can do it from a computer. On email marketing, it's quote old-fashioned, I guess, by today's standards, but it's still effective. And so with a lot of our clients, restaurant clients, again, I've got one that has a list of about 10,000 email addresses, and I have another one that only has about 200 email addresses. And so, having that email list to communicate to, especially in times like this, was a big advantage for them to be able to get their word out instantly about what was going on. And, again, from just a regular marketing standpoint, here's Wayfair. If this is good enough for Wayfair that it's the first pop-up on their site to try to get your email address, then it's probably good enough for the rest of us. And so there's this pop-up tool if you use MailChimp or Constant Contact, you know, that you can set it up just using those to pop up right away when someone comes to your website.
So I know we're a little over time, so I'm just going to quickly cover integrating Zoom and then calendars, and then we're going to open it up for questions. But again, you know, one of the things that we actually did was we created a page on our website and linked up our Zoom account, so it would allow our customers to connect with us through Zoom. We're not in the office right now, we're all working remotely, so they don't actually have to have a Zoom account. They can just click the link and be able to direct them right to, you know, a Zoom meeting with us. The other thing in which we did was being able to book an appointment. So we have Dan there. If someone wants to book an appointment with him, it actually connects over to the Gmail suite in his Gmail suite calendar. And you can do this through Outlook and other email forms as well. But it actually lets you go right in there and connect and pick a time that would work for you to book a meeting. So, you know, just ways in which, you know, especially with these times now, we're working remotely. You know, just keeping your business going and offering that to customers to keep yourself flexible. So now we'd love to open it up to some questions. I actually have some, and I'll address the first few. And then if you have any questions, you know, at this moment, as we just finished, please pop them in there and Dan and myself will address. So Dan, we've got our first question. It's how can you post videos in social media without losing the rights to your video?
I have to say I'm stumped on that one. That's an interesting question. Most of our clients, you know, would like, you know, local places. I don't think that's as much of a concern. If you're posting something that has intellectual property or some of your services, I have to say I haven't had that question posed to me. So we can do a little research and I can get back to you though on that.
Yeah, John Becker. Another question from John Becker, is a video with the owner employees more or less effective than a paid spokesperson?
I would say, you know, in that Wilbraham Animal Hospital was a perfect example. The employees, the girls, you know, the ladies who were talking throughout that, they were awesome, you know, and the way we do that, there's no script to that. You know, and our approach is to just ask them, hey, you know, why do people love, you know, Wilbraham Animal Hospital so much? And, you know, typically your employees have a vested interest and they're proud of what they do. And they may be nervous as heck, but a lot of times they say some of the best things come from the employees and not from the owners.
So I had another question in regards to mobile optimization. What does it take to make your website more mobile optimized, and does it cost a lot of money?
It depends on what platform you're on. Unfortunately, there's typically not a magic little button like, hey, I built my website 8 years ago. Can you just make it mobile friendly? The short answer is no. You really typically need to do a redesign to get the platform up to a more modern version. Some of the web builders and stuff like that, it's sometimes a little bit easier, but typically it's not just a push of a button.
And then I have another one from John. Is there any data that can project a certain increase in traffic and leads with either better photography and video?
I mean, I'm not a big stat person per se, so unfortunately I can't just quote a stat to you. I can tell you from real life examples, you know, like that pool company, from when we started with him to, you know, building out that gallery was one of the main things we've done. And looking at the web traffic reports, it supports it. And looking at the leads that come through it, you know, there's been a big investment in photography and going out every season and going out and taking new pictures of new projects. But his business has grown. You know, we've worked together 6-7 years now. It's really grown every single year. And I do think the website is a big part of it because he does beautiful work and the site never reflected that. And now it just showcases his work.
We have a good question from Carrie. how often do you recommend redesigning your company's website?
Very often, every month. No. You know, it used to be you could design your site and it was good for 3 or 4 years. You know, now it's probably, well, it's a little easier to redesign them now. So you know, once you get on a modern platform, you can keep tweaking it. So it doesn't have to be a full redo every single time, and you can just keep improving it as you go. So that would be one side of it from a design standpoint. I think the other side is just using your website as a marketing tool. It shouldn't be stagnant. So the content and the design that goes with the content, you know, should be updated often. You know, there's so many new things like this telemedicine thing that's happening now. You know, that's virtual visits. That same holds true for the home improvement industry. I think you're going to be seeing virtual quotes and virtual, you know, tours or whatever to give you a quote. So that stuff should just always be evolving, and your website should reflect it.
We just had one more question that I'll quickly address, but I just also wanted to address one of the things that we are going to extend is a complimentary marketing analysis and consultation. So, you know, again, you may have questions in your head, or you might just, you know, kind of going through all this, but we will be sharing this information after the session, but I did want to highlight that. So offline, if you'd like to connect with Dan or myself, feel free. Our contact is right there. But just wanted to reiterate that. But the last question we have is on SEO. So the question we have is, how can you use SEO to optimize your website and use it efficiently?
So SEO probably will be one of our next sessions. And if you have any ideas for other seminars like this that you'd like to see, you know, just let us know. But a quick answer, again, tying it back to this, is content. You know, if you're talking about your services, describing your services, putting images of your work and your products, and not only just putting a photo, but putting the description that goes with it. Those are great places to start. Frequently asked questions, having those kind of things on your website. You know, if you answer the questions for humans, it'll take care of the optimization for Google, is the way I usually say it. Like, just focus on your customers and giving them good info, and that good info is what Google is looking for.
Perfect. Well, we'll leave it for just 30 seconds to a minute if anyone has any other questions. We have just this suggestion of other topics: social media, increasing viewers for social media accounts, etc. Yeah, definitely all things that you know, we've talked about covering. So Carrie, we definitely will keep that in consideration. If there's not any other questions, then it's about lunchtime. So we really appreciate you guys joining us. It's a Friday. Stay safe, stay well, and we definitely will be in touch to share a recap of this webinar. But again, please connect with us at any time, and we're glad to be a resource for everyone out there.
Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thanks everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.